Hello, guys. This is Chapter 2, Lesson 4 for Pre-Algebra. That's what I forgot. Equivalent expressions. Today we are talking about the word equivalent or equivalent. And equivalent just means to be equal or balanced. So what I'd like you to do is write in your notebook the title, the lesson, and this word, equivalent. And here's how you spell it. E Q U I V A L E N T. Equivalent. Equivalent. Now, what does equivalent mean? If you notice here, you have the word part equi, which is the same word part as equal. Equi, equal. Equivalent means equal. What we are finding out today is things, or more specifically, expressions that are equal. So for example, if I asked you, is one apple equivalent to one apple? Well, you'd say, yeah, of course. One is one, right? They are equivalent. If I told you, or I asked you, is, I don't know, one bucket of water or two buckets of water, is that equivalent to one bucket of water? And you would say, no, of course not. These are not equal. So therefore, these are not equivalent. They are not the same, right? Equivalent means equal equals the same. So today what we're working on are equations that are equivalent and not equivalent. So if I gave you an equation like, let's say, 5 plus 5, right? And I said, is that equivalent to the equation 20 minus 10? Well, you might say to yourself, well, I don't know. I don't know. I have to figure it out. So that's what we would do. We would start on one edge or one side of the equal sign, and we might say, well, what is 5 plus 5? 5 plus 5 is 10. All right, are we sure about that? Yes, okay. Then I go to the other side and I say, all right, and by other side, I mean the right side of the equal sign. And I might say, all right, what's 20 minus 10? Well, 20 minus 10 is 10. Aha! Both sides of the equation symbol are the same. Therefore, they are equal. Therefore, they are equivalent. And the way I like to make sure that I've done it right is to put those little check marks. And the check marks mean both sides are good. And not just good, they are equal, which means they are equivalent. And I'm going to write the word every single time so I get practice spelling this word, okay? Now let's say I changed it. Let's say it was 5 plus 5 on this side and it was 20 minus 5. Let's just keep it easy. Are these two expressions still equivalent? Well, let's try out. Well, we know for a fact that 5 plus 5 is 10. Now we go to the other side. Is 20 minus 5, what is that? 20 minus 5 is 15. This does not make any sense. 10 is not the same as 15. 10 is not equal to 15. If I had 10 apples on this side and 15 apples on this side, what really is the case is that 15 is greater than 10, but we're not comparing today. All we're trying to figure out is, are these equivalent? So these two are not equal. So I can write a symbol that looks like that. It's the equal sign with a line through it. Or I could say these are not equivalent. And if I'm really trying to be 100% about it, I could say this is good, but this does not equal it, right? These two are not the same, not equivalent. So now let's do some other practice problems. I want you to write these down in your notebooks and see if these are equivalent or not equivalent, okay? Let's start off. Number 1. Tell whether 3 plus 5 is that equivalent to 12 minus 4? All right, so now we have to ask ourselves, equivalent or not, right? Equivalent, yes or no. Okay, so let's just do the steps. I start with the first expression, 3 plus 5. Well, 3 plus 5 is 8. So that side is done. I've ended up with one number. And let's go to the right side, 12 minus 4. 12 minus 4 is also 8 because 12 minus 4, I borrow 1, so that's 0. 12 minus 4, we got 12, 11, 10, 9, so we end up at 8. All right, so does 8 equal 8? Yes, it does. Therefore, these two expressions are equivalent. Yes, they are equivalent. So remember, 3 plus 5 is an expression. 3 plus 5 equals, that is an equation because it has the equal sign. All right, same thing over here. 12 minus 4 is an expression. 12 minus 4 equals something is an equation. And the question we have is, are these two expressions equivalent? Are they equal to each other? In this case, it's yes. So make sure you have that written down in your notebook. All right, next. Let's try this one. If I had 5 parentheses 4 minus 2, and is it equal or is it equivalent to 5.4 minus 2? So you have the same numbers here, right? So you might say, oh, of course they're equivalent. They have the exact same numbers. And in fact, this says 5 times 4 minus 2. And so does the blue. It says 5 times 4 minus 2. But we remember, we just went over the order of operations, PEMDAS. And PEMDAS told us that we need to follow these steps to make sure the math is correct. So I need to start with parentheses. All right, let's solve everything in the parentheses first. In the parentheses, I have 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. Okay, so now I've taken care of my parentheses. Do I have parentheses on the other side? No, so I can keep going. Okay, do I have any exponents on either side? Nope, so I can keep going. Do I have any multiplication or division? Aha, I do. On both sides, I have multiplication. In fact, here I have really 5 times 2. And over here, I have 5 times 4, right? So in reality, I have multiplication on both sides. So now I just need to solve them. 5 times 2 is 10. And that, I think, solves that side, the left side. There's nothing else I can do. Over here, 5 times 4 is 20. I make sure I drop the -2, or the -2 rather, because I didn't use them. So now I have 10 equals 20 minus 2. I have done my multiplication and I did not have any division. My final step is addition or subtraction. Well, 10 doesn't have any addition or subtraction, it's just by itself. So 10 is 10. And then on this side, 20 minus 2, that's not addition, that's subtraction. So 20 minus 2 is what, 18? There we go. 20 minus 2 is 18. Now I say to myself, okay, I have done my order of operations, I have solved everything, and I have simplified it. Does 10 equal 18? Well, you know for a fact that is not true. 10 does not equal 18. Therefore, it is not equivalent. These two expressions are not equivalent. When you go through the whole process, you find out that the first one equals 10 and the second one equals 18. And why? Because we did PEMDAS. We did the parentheses first, then the exponents, then the multiplication or division, then the addition or subtraction. All right, make sure you have this problem in your notebook as well. Let's do a couple more. All right, how about 9 plus 1 in parentheses plus 6, does that equal 9 plus 1 plus 6? Okay, so I've got some parentheses here, right? And I've got some addition symbols. So I need to immediately go to my PEMDAS, right? So I've got P, E, M, D, A, S. It's now time to go and run through PEMDAS. First, I check parentheses. I have parentheses on both sides, so let's start with that. Here I have 9 plus 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. I close my parentheses, and I do plus 6. On this side, I have a 1 plus 6. 1 plus 6 is 7. Close my parentheses, rewrite my problem. All right, I am done with parentheses. Do I have any exponents? Nope. Do I have any multiplication or division? I have none of those. Nope. Do I have addition or subtraction? Yep, I have addition on both sides, but no subtraction. So then I say, okay, what is 10 plus 6? 10 plus 6 is 16. Draw the equal sign again. What is 9 plus 7? 9 plus 7 is 16. So the question is, are these two expressions equivalent? And the answer is yes, because 16 does in fact equal 16. We are good on both sides. These are equivalent. They are equal. Nicely done. Go ahead and pause the video anytime you need to get this answer in as well. We are going to do 2 more, and then that will be the end of this video. All right. Let's try 8 divided by 8 times 8. Does that equal 16 divided by 2? All right, what's our first step? Well, because we have different operations, I've got division, multiplication, division, I need to use PEMDAS again. As you can see, we're going to be using, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, quite a bit. All right, first, do I have any parentheses? I look on both sides, I see no, there are no parentheses, therefore, we can skip that. Do I have any exponents? I look on both sides, I see none, therefore I can skip it. Do I have any multiplication or division? I have both, right? Now the question is, which one do I do first? Curious. I remember what the rule is. If I have both of them, all I need to do is start on the left and move my way to the right on both equations. So on the first equation, I need to do my first operation, which is division. And I say to myself, okay, what is 8 divided by 8? 8 divided by 8 is, anything divided by itself is 1. Then I have my multiplication down here, and I'll get to that in a second. Over here, I have 16 divided by 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8. All right, now I can finish this up. I've done my division from left to right. Now I can do my multiplication. 1 times 8 is 8. Equal sign. Drop this 8 because nothing happened to it. 8 equals 8. Do I have any addition or subtraction? I have neither of those. Therefore, my final answer is 8 does equal 8. They are equal on both sides. Therefore, they are equivalent. And that's it. Make sure you pause this video to get this problem down or review if you have to. Final problem coming up here. I'm excited, aren't you? Ah, tricky one. Here we go. I have 3 multiplied by 2 in parentheses to the 4th power. Ooh, first time we've seen this. Equals 3 times 2 times 4. Ooh, I like this problem. There's a lot going on here. So let's start at the beginning. I notice that I have parentheses and I have multiple operations. I've got exponents, I've got multiplication, I've got parentheses, I've got everything. So what I'm going to need? I'm going to need PEMDAS. All right. So I start with my parentheses. Do I have parentheses? Yep. I've got 3 times 2 on this side. 3 times 2 is 6. So I've got 6 in parentheses to the power of 4 equals, and then I have parentheses on this side. But the parentheses only has one number in them, so I can just leave it, right? Because nothing actually happens yet. All right, so I can cross out parentheses. Do I have exponents? Aha, I do. I have 6 to the 4th power. So now I'm going to evaluate 6 to the 4th power. I'm going to do it on the side here. You can do it on your side of your book, so you don't run out of space. 6 to the 4th power is 4 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the base inside each box. Therefore, I do multiplication. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 6 is 36. 36 times 36 is, let me get my calculator out because I don't know that off the top of my head. I think it's 642 or something like that, but I am not sure. So let me just confirm for a second. No, I was way off. It's 1,296. 1,296 is our solution here. So 6 to the 4th power is 1,296. So that takes care of my exponents. I rewrite the problem to make it nice and clean. All right, now I move on. Do I have multiplication or division? On the first side, I'm done. There's nothing else I can do. On the right side, I have multiplication twice, right? I've got 3 times 2 times 4. Now, the question is, which of these multiplications do I do first? Well, the answer is I must always do the one that's hugging first. Because technically, people could be right and say, well, it's parentheses, you should have evaluated that first. True, I could have done that, which would have meant instead of 2, 4, it could have been 2 times 4, and that would have been 8 the whole way down. So now, because remember, anytime you have a parentheses like this, it's actually multiplication. Let me write that again. 2 to the 4th is, or not 2 to the 4th, 2 parentheses 4 is the same thing as saying 2 times 4, which is the same thing as saying 8. That's how I got that. Now I just do my multiplication because that's all that's left. 3 times 8 is 24. Well, you don't have to be a genius to see that 1,296 is in fact not equal to 24. I draw my line through my equal sign. These two are not the same, therefore they are not equivalent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do one more bonus problem because there is a tricky one in your homework today. All right, let's get one more in. Remember to make sure to pause the video and copy this into your notebooks for future reference. Here's the last one. 3 squared plus 2 squared. Does that equal 3 plus 2 squared. All right, let's try it out. I'm automatically going to start with PEMDAS. Just because I know I've been using it a lot, I'm going to use it again. All right, start with the parentheses. Do I have parentheses? Yes, I do on the right side. 3 plus 2 is 5. So I'm going to have 5 in parentheses squared, or to the second power. And then I can rewrite everything because nothing else changed. Do I have exponents? Yep, I have exponents up and down this whole problem. 3 squared is 3 times 3, so that's 9. And here's where it pays to know your math facts, so you can do it quicker. Plus, what is 2 squared? 2 to the second power is 2 times 2, which is 4. Equals 5 squared. What is 5 squared? 5 in parentheses to the second power is the same thing as saying 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is the same thing as saying 25. So I've now gotten rid of all of my exponents. Now I say, do I have any multiplication or division? I see none. Now, do I have any addition or subtraction? There's no subtraction, but there is, in fact, addition. And the addition is 9 plus 4. 9 plus 4 is 13. Does 13 equal 25? Everybody here all together say it. 1, 2, 3. No. These are not equivalent. All right, I hope that helped you today. If you need to review this, please go over it again. If you're still getting confused on the steps, I ask you to review, I think, 2.2 and 2.3, which goes over PEMDAS and the order of operations. Remember, it's parentheses first, then exponents, then multiplication or division, and then addition or subtraction. Remember, whichever comes first from right to left when you get to multiplication and addition. All right, we will see you in the next video. Bye.